Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Table Talks. I'm Tony Ortiz, and this is the podcast where we dive into the stories behind different clubs, faculty, staff, and students here at IC, brought to you by The Ithacan. You can check out more of our stuff wherever you're listening or by visiting theithacan.org. Now, today we are joined by a very special guest, Lily Ashman, the president of DKA. How are you doing today, Lily?
I am great, and I'm so happy to be here. This is so exciting.
I'm so happy. This is the first episode of the semester.
So let's go.
We're kicking things off with a great start.
This is great.
So, if you don't mind telling the viewers at home what DKA is and what your role in it is.
All right. So basically, DKA is a professional cinematic society, and it started as a fraternity way back in the 50s, but now it's co-ed, so it's Professional Cinematic Society. And it just plays that like-minded people get together. It's a great way to meet people, network, and also just talk about things that we all have in common, which is film. You don't have to be a film major to join or anything like that. I'm not a film major. You just have to like it, and it's just a great way to meet friends and also just connect with people and get on sets and learn things like that. And I'm the president of it, so I run our whole chapter and do our chapter meetings every Sundays, and we have about 80 people in our chapter, so anything revolving them I help with, and also I just help run the other committees with our e-board members. So whatever they need help with, I'm there. And I also serve as a communication between our chapter in Ithaca, the Pi chapter, and Nationals, which is in California, but it's also all around the world.
Awesome. Do you mind telling us how you first got started at DKA?
Okay, so I'm going way back because I'm a junior. So back in my freshman year, it was the first week of classes, and I have I don't have that vivid of a memory of how I found out about it, but I think I saw it on Instagram. I saw a poster about recruitment week, and I remember specifically they had the Barbie font on it talking about meet and greet, one of our recruitment events. And I was I need to go to this. This is so exciting. And I didn't get to go to any of the info sessions or anything like that because I found out about it on the Friday where the first event was. So I went there and I loved it, and I went for the whole weekend to all the events, and then luckily got invited back for an interview and to attend our other event, our potluck, and then I got in. So the first semester started off as an associate, so was with my associate class, and the next semester after that, after taking the exam, I became merch chair, and then that semester I ran for PR, which was on our e-board. So then my entirety of sophomore year, I was our public relations chair, so I ran the Instagram and social media stuff. And then I ran for president, and now I'm here.
Wow, that's so awesome. Yeah. There's so many different things.
Yeah.
I forgot that that different years have different themes, because I know ours was, or I don't, the Barbie era was it was 2023, right?
Yeah, it was 2023.
Wow.
So it was I think the theme was summer blockbusters for that recruitment theme. And it was Oppenheimer, Barbie, and I think it was Asteroid City. It might have been something else, but I definitely remember it being Barbie and Oppenheimer because that was that big thing that summer. So
do you mind talking a little bit about what DKA does in Ithaca specifically? What events do you guys host? Stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. So we do a load of programming. We have so many different events that is mostly open to the campus as a whole. But our biggest ones are always our screenings. We have about 30 plus screenings a semester of any movie ever. It can be anything. We have a chair who runs that, which is our cinematic affairs chair, and they plan a bunch of screenings focusing on a wide range of topics, a lot of international stuff, and then we also incorporate our DEI screenings into that so we can get kind of diverse voices out there. And this is a great way for the chapter as a whole to learn about different communities and also just watch films that are really popular or some films that haven't gotten that much love. And then it's also open to our entire campus so people can go and expand their knowledge on movies. So that's just one of our things, and we have so many of those. We have at least 2 a week throughout the entirety of the semesters. It can be 2 to 3 depending. Then we also do some philanthropy event. So we have a philanthropy partner, which is the Motion Picture Television Fund, which basically just is a fund for people in the film industry who need that extra money if they're not kind of making it big in that way. You know what I mean? And a lot of it is going towards people that struggled during the COVID pandemic too. So we do a lot of trivia events throughout the semester on campus, and it has an entry fee of $3 or $5 if it's a group, and all of that proceeds go to the Motion Picture Television Fund, which is really awesome. So we have that. anything. It can be movie related, music related, anything like that for the trivias, just to get people to come. Our biggest one was like a Glee trivia that we did.
Oh,
like,
I love Glee.
Yeah, we did it. I think it was last fall we did it, and then so many people came that we did a part 2 of it because it was such a good turnout. But that's another one. We do workshops, so it's a bunch of different people. Specifically, it's like film stuff related. Like we have had lighting workshops, editing workshops. I've done an Adobe Illustrator workshop, and it's just a way to like kind of expand people's knowledge on things, some things that they might not see like in the classroom, but like are getting it from a perspective of a student, which is super cool. And also people just go to just like kind of learn about other things. Like for example, I'm not a film major, and I've gone to some of these things, and I'm just like, this is really interesting for me because like I'm not learning this in my classes, so it's super cool. And then we also have a screenwriter circle every week where people can bring their scripts and share it with other people and get feedback. And I believe that is all off the top of my head, but we do a lot of collaborations. We have, like, again, those DEI screenings. We like to collab with a bunch of orgs on campus as well and show different movies. And then also just sometimes just some random events. Doesn't have to be anything film related. If they want to collab with DKA, we're always here, and we're always happy to kind of partner with some campus orgs.
Wow, that's so awesome. So for people who are getting interested in DKA and want to be able to apply, what is that process like, and what can they expect going into it?
Okay, so basically we always, at the beginning of the semester is when we have our recruitment week. So it's basically after like the first week of classes, it really starts. So we do some tabling inside the Park School, but also sometimes we're at the org fairs. And we just have like sign up sheets that you can like sign up, give us your email, and you'll get like our emails from our recruitment chairs. So we always have 2 recruitment chairs. This year it's our lovely Juliana Foster and Johnny Colbert, so very nice. And they'll be at these like tablings, and you can learn some more information about DKA from that. But once you are on that email list, or even you can see this on our social media or on IC Engage, we post these. We have 3 info sessions, which you come to the info session, you learn more about DKA, about like what our values are, what we like to do, and just like anything like of the little things about DKA if you're more interested in it, and how much of a time commitment it is. That's a lot of like people's questions. It's just like, we are college students, so it's like you want to be able to put in your all into like something that you're passionate about, but you also want to make sure you're on top of your schoolwork. And we very much so want to emphasize that like this is just like, it's just fun. It's really just fun, and it's just a great way to meet people and then just kind of network and stuff like that. So we emphasize that a lot during like our recruitment weeks. It's just like, it's not a lot of work. It's just fun. It's really just a great way to meet people. And then after those info sessions, you can come to our recruitment events, which we normally have a meet and greet on Friday, which is today. And then on Saturdays, we'll have like a game/craft night. And then on Sundays, we have a trivia event. So those are just like the 3 main ones that we have. And they're super fun. They're open to everybody. And you just attend those. You sign in so we know you're there. But along with that, before the trivia event on Sunday, you have an application due. And the application asks about like 5 questions just to get to know you a little bit more. So our chapter as a whole can get to know you even more, because we have 80 people in our chapter, so it is kind of hard for everybody to know like each person.
Yeah.
So some of the questions just ask about like, why are you passionate about film? What other than film are you passionate about? Some like kind of questions about like problem solving skills and communication, and then just basic things like asking your name, like your year, your like major and stuff like that. But honestly, like majors, it doesn't really matter. We just like to know you a little bit more and see if we can connect you with anyone else in our chapter who's the same major.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I know earlier you were mentioning about how you are the communication between this chapter and other chapters. Can you talk a little bit more about what DKA does on a more broader scale?
Yeah, so I was luckily able to attend Executives Academy this summer and Conclave. So basically, it was just this awesome event. It was held in LA, and we went to a bunch of different like schools that have chapters. We went to UCLA, LMU, and USC, which USC is where we were founded, which was super, super cool. And there's a bunch of chapters from all across the country there, and we got to meet a bunch of them, network with them. And at Conclave specifically is where they give out awards and stuff like that. So our chapter was able to get some awards, which was super fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really great. And I got to meet nationals, which we have like our national president, and then some like national advisors, which are just basically DKA alumni. And it was just a great way to meet other people and kind of connect and see what other chapters are doing and how they're kind of making DKA work at their school and just their different ideas. But that was just conclave, and I was able to go with Luca, who is our Luca Bain. She's our programming chair, and I went with our past president Caleb Kwiatkowski as well. And then after conclave was Executives Academy, so just me and Luca stayed for that, and it was just basically kind of this like conference-y like workshop type of thing. It was about like 2-3 days long, and and it's always just kind of like 2 people from each chapter that are on like their e-board. Normally it's the president and the vice president, but sometimes other people come, like Luca came, like Ava wasn't able to, who's our vice president. And we just were like kind of sitting in a room together for like a whole day, just kind of discussing different things and just different changes that they're making at a national level that we could like kind of adapt into our chapter, and then also just like how like different processes work. A lot of people are new to being on the e-board. Like I was on the e-board in my sophomore year, but I didn't go to it last year. So like 2 years ago, I guess. So going to this was a really great way to learn about like the different processes that I as president have to do in order to like keep our chapter running and keep it in like good standing.
So since you know so much about DKA, the in and out, I have a question for you. This is a question I ask almost all of my guests. What is a misconception people have about DKA that you would like to clear on the air?
Oh, okay. Hold on. I have to think about this because honestly, I think the biggest one is that we are not a frat at all. I really, really want to clear that because it's not at all what we are. We are professional society.
Yes.
And we have professionalism in our chapter. You learn about a lot of like professional tactics like resume building and networking and stuff like that. And it's not at all a frat. There is no such thing as hazing in our chapter. We do not
hazing.
We do not haze. That is not anything that we do. That is against like DKA as a whole and a national scale as well. That is nothing of what it is. And I just want like that to be not a misconception about our You want to
clear the
I want to clear that because it's like we are not that at all. We are a professional society that just all loves movies, and we are friends. Like it's not just something that's very like kind of, it's not like overly professional where it's like you can't have fun.
Yeah.
But it's not anything where it's like fratty. There's no hazing. There's nothing like that. It's just all people just talking about things that they love and connecting and just making friends. It's just like a normal club, except we are at a national scale.
Yeah, of course. I agree. When I first applied to DKA, I also was under the misconception that I was like, oh, it might be like a fraternity style type thing. But after joining, it was so much fun. It was just getting to know people who are like similar with us. And speaking of getting to know people, so with you being in DKA since your freshman year, I'm sure you have some juicy stories. Do you have any like fun stories or things that you would like to recount that you think like really represent DKA?
Oh my God. I'm like going to get like emotional here because I've met my best friends through DKA. Like truly I have. And the class that I joined with, we are so close. I was a freshman when I joined, and there's only 5 freshmen that joined my semester, and everyone else was sophomores. So it was like kind of this like silly little energy where it's like a lot of people already knew other people in the chapter, but then like us freshmen, we didn't like know that many people because we're just new on campus, and we all became so close. Like I'm best friends with all of them to this day, and I just like. There's so many memories that we have all together. Like some of the favorite like standouts to me is my second semester, my freshman year, we had our annual Pie event, which is basically we're the Pie chapter, and for our philanthropy event at the end of the year that we host at IC Kicksback, it's called Pie, and it's like I think it's like $2 or $5 somewhere in between. Someone pays us, and that goes to our philanthropy partner, the Motion Picture Television Fund, and they get to pie us. So I got pied 15 times.
Oh my God.
And it's just whipped cream in like a tin can.
Yeah.
But it is so much fun. And then directly after that, we had our semesterly formal white carnation. So everybody was like all like gross from like pie and stuff. So we like had to run to like all get like shower to get ready to then go to our formal. And it was on a beautiful day, and we were near like the lake. It was at like Stewart Park, so it was so beautiful, and it was just such a fun day. And then another great memory that just like kind of represents DK to me is it's not in our school, but it happened like because of DKA. a lot of my friends that I've made from DKA in my spring semester last year were abroad. They were all in like London or Italy, and me and 2 other DECAs decided we're going to go visit them for spring break. So we all went to Italy together.
Wow.
And we were all there. There was like 20 of us in like a restaurant and stuff like that. And it was just like, wow, this is like really beautiful. Like we are connecting like overseas together. Like I just met these people like maybe a little over a year ago, and I'm already so connected with them that I'm like, I'm going to Europe to see them. Like, and it just like, it really speaks to how much our bond is like reciprocal. And it was like really beautiful. I was just like, I can't believe I'm here with these people. And like, it was just such a lovely experience, because I'm just like, I don't know how I would have found that without joining DKA, of finding like these people who I'm just like, I will go across the country to see them. Like, because I missed them so bad in the 3 months I didn't see them. Like, it was just like, because of all the bonding activities we have and like all this stuff, I was just like, this is something that I need to do. And I did it, and I will never, ever forget that.
Now, I have a question with you about the financial aspect of DKA, because as most societies go, there is typically a cost associated with joining. What do you guys have that maybe could help students who maybe don't have as much income to be able to join?
Yeah, so we do obviously have dues. Because we are a completely self-funded organization. We're not like recognized through like the school's organization, because we're still considered like a fraternity, but we're not one, because they don't have Greek orgs on this campus. So we are self-funded, and you pay every semester, and it's about like $200. But we do offer scholarships. So there's just a little application. It's either like 1 or 2 questions that you fill out, and you kind of just tell us a little bit of like about you, and like kind of how much you would like, and we will make sure that like you get that accommodation of that money. Like, we make sure that we put away money at the end of every semester that goes to our scholarship fund. So it's never like a worry. We always will work with you. You don't have to give it all to us up front right at that moment. We can always do payment plans, anything like that. So we want to be very accommodating for it, but we also want to be completely clear that like this money that you are giving towards us is also you're getting back in the events we put on, and especially our retreat. Retreat is where most of our money like goes to, because we do have to do like food and also renting out the cabin spaces and stuff like that. So if you're like attending the events and going to things like retreat, that money comes back to you.
When we're talking about new recruits and people who are trying to join, what is the specific process that they have to go through? I heard it's something called TROT.
Well, yes. So basically, once you are accepted into DKA and accept your invitation to join our chapter, you're considered an associate. And your entire first semester, you are an associate, and you have to go through TROT, which stands for the Road of Trials. And it's basically just a weekly class. It's about like 1 hour, mostly on the weekends, but it all like kind of is scheduled around your schedule and your group schedule. So you join with about like 20 other people, and you're just taking like a little class to learn about the history of DKA and kind of like how we started, and also just like how our chapter works. So just different like positions and stuff like that, like what the president does, what VP does, what program does, etc. And you just kind of learn all about that, and it all culminates in an exam that's at the end of the semester, a little bit before the end of the semester. So not during finals week. Don't worry about that. We make sure that never happens. But it's kind of just like a multiple choice exam type of thing. And you just basically put in your answers that you have learned from the entirety of those 6 weeks of going to those TROT classes. But also, those classes aren't just a place where you're learning about stuff. It's also a place where you're bonding and making friends. We do weekly quests that you have to do, which is super fun. They're always like cutesy little things like a cupcake challenge or like a 24-hour film, which is cool. And it's just always some like bonding stuff. And you get to also meet current members as well, not just staying with your associate class. People come visit your TROT class, or you get to go to chapter, and you also get to do some activities with members throughout the semester as well. And it's just a great way to kind of like get to know other people, but also starting at like a smaller scale with a class of 20 is great, especially because our chapter has over 80 people.
It really is a nice way to get to know people.
Yeah.
Hashtag Pytania. I don't know. I hope they're watching this.
Hashtag Oppenheimer.
So talking about future events, what are some upcoming things that DKA is doing that you personally want people to come to?
So specifically, we have an event coming up in February 13th at either 5:30 or 6:30 p.m. with the IC Unity Center, and we're doing a collab screening of Sinners, which is super exciting, which just like got nominated for the most Oscars ever, like hello. So it's super exciting that we have this coming up, especially before the award season, but it is to highlight MLK Week and also Black History Month. So it's a great way to kind of like get out there, see another organization, and like kind of, they're not like a club, but they're also just like a big org on campus, and meet other people, and also just watch a great movie that is so incredibly great. And also you can get to see like all of their other stuff that they have for that programming week. So this has been a collab that we've been planning for a couple months now. So it's super exciting that it's actually happening, and it's happening a little sooner than we thought. So it's super exciting.
Yes, everyone make sure to pull up the Centers.
Yeah, that's a great one. And I know we have a lot of good philanthropy events coming up. For trivia stuff, we should have like an A24 trivia event coming up. I think a Twilight one, Hunger Games, like super fun things. They get like those like awesome big fandoms to come do some trivia, and you get to win prizes when you go to trivia. So you get like a Grubhub gift card, which we all as college students, we love a Grubhub gift card.
And always make sure to tip your drivers. There are some people who don't do that. So
exactly. Yeah.
And I guess just one final question. For those of who are very interested in DKA but don't see that they have the time to be able to commit and stuff, what are things that regular people on campus are able to do to help support DKA without necessarily being in it?
Honestly, just coming to our events is always great. We love to have a great attendance at our events. And you don't have to be in DKA to come. This is open to all campus. If there's a poster for it, you can come. We would never post something on a board where it's like, you're not allowed to go to that. Yeah. No, if there's a poster for it, you should come. And just like following us on Instagram, keeping up with us on IC Engage is really great. And also just like kind of asking us questions. If you want to end up joining, you don't have to join, like you don't have to be in your first year to join. You can join whenever you want throughout your entire college like career. And we're always here to answer questions for you. But come to our events, show some love. We put on a lot of stuff. And we have a lot of people in our chapter that are like working hard for these events and getting them like ready. So definitely just show up. We had a really, really great attendance for the Gus Van Sant movie that we were able to screen last semester. We had about like 90 people there, which is super, super great. And we would love to keep that up. Just seeing like movies. We're going to be showing like a lot of like really known movies, but a lot of like niche movies. So it's like, definitely come pull up and see them.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lily, for joining us today on the podcast. And thank you all for watching. Tune in next time on Table Talks.